They texted you good morning before you woke up, good night after you fell asleep. They remembered every detail you mentioned in passing. Your favorite song, the book you read as a child, the dream you gave up on. They said, "I've never met anyone like you. You're different. I feel like I've known you forever." Within days, they made you feel seen in ways nobody else ever had. Within weeks, you couldn't imagine life without them. Within months, you didn't recognize yourself anymore. You weren't in love. You were being programmed, and by the time you realized it, you were already caught. This is love bombing, and it's not romance. It's the opening move in a game you didn't know you were playing. A game where the goal isn't connection, it's control. Love bombing is the practice of overwhelming someone with excessive affection, attention, and validation in order to manipulate their emotions and lower their defenses. It's not genuine intimacy developing naturally over time. It's manufactured intensity designed to create dependency as quickly as possible. And it works. Not because victims are weak or naive, but because it exploits fundamental human needs, belonging, validation, connection, and delivers them at a pace that bypasses rational evaluation. Most relationships develop slowly. You meet someone. You're curious. You go on dates. You reveal yourselves gradually. Trust builds over months as you see how someone behaves under different circumstances. Consistency over time creates security. Love bombing compresses all of this into days or weeks. It creates artificial intimacy that feels more intense than anything you've experienced before. And intensity gets confused with depth. The love bomber showers you with compliments. Not occasional, earned praise, but constant, extravagant adoration. You're not just attractive. You're the most beautiful person they've ever seen. You're not just interesting. You're extraordinary, unique, destined to meet them. They text constantly, call frequently, want to see you every day. It feels flattering, romantic, like they can't get enough of you. But here's what's actually happening. They're flooding your brain with dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. It's released when you experience pleasure, but more importantly, when you anticipate pleasure. Every text, every compliment, every declaration of affection triggers a dopamine hit. Your brain starts associating this person with intense positive feelings, and like any reward system, you want more. You start checking your phone obsessively, feeling anxious when they don't respond immediately, organizing your life around their availability. This is intermittent reinforcement in its early stage. Right now, the rewards are constant. Later, they'll become unpredictable, and that's when the real addiction begins. The love bomber also mirrors you. They share your interests, your values, your dreams. They love the same music, want the same future, see the world exactly as you do. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. Narcissists are experts at reading people and reflecting back what they want to see. They become your perfect match by erasing themselves and performing whatever version gets them access to you. You think, we're so compatible. This must be fate. But compatibility requires difference. Healthy relationships involve negotiation, compromise, discovery. Love bombing offers none of that. It offers a mirror, and mirrors don't challenge you. They trap you. Within weeks, they're talking about the future, moving in together, marriage, forever. Not as distant possibilities, but as certainties, as inevitable. This creates premature commitment. You haven't known them long enough to make informed decisions, but you've already emotionally invested as if you have. And the more you invest, the harder it becomes to walk away when the mask starts slipping. Because it always slips. Love bombing isn't sustainable. It's not meant to be. It's the first stage of a three-part cycle: idealization, devaluation, discard. During idealization, you're perfect, flawless, the answer to everything they've been searching for. This stage establishes the baseline, the version of the relationship you'll spend years trying to get back to. Then comes devaluation, slowly at first, A comment that stings, a criticism disguised as concern, withdrawal of affection for reasons you don't understand. The person who couldn't go a day without seeing you suddenly needs space. The one who praised everything about you now notices your flaws. The intense attention that felt like love becomes cold distance that feels like abandonment. And you panic, because the dopamine supply has been cut off. Your brain, now dependent on their validation, goes into withdrawal. You feel anxious, desperate, wrong. You ask, what did I do? How do I fix this? And that's exactly the question they want you asking, because now you're working to earn back what they gave freely before. You're trying to prove you're worthy of the love they once offered unconditionally. But here's the trap. You didn't do anything. The idealization was never real. It was a lure. And now that you're hooked, they don't need to maintain it. Devaluation serves a purpose. It destabilizes you, makes you question your worth, keeps you focused on pleasing them instead of evaluating whether they're good for you. Some narcissists cycle back to idealization periodically. Brief returns to the early intensity that make you think, see, they do love me. I just need to be patient. This is trauma bonding. The intermittent reinforcement of affection and withdrawal creates a psychological trap stronger than consistent affection ever could. You become addicted to the highs because the lows are so painful, and eventually discard. They leave, or cheat, or simply go cold, often right when you've sacrificed the most, right when you've isolated yourself from friends who warned you, right when you've restructured your life around them. The discard is brutal because it reveals the truth. You were never a partner. You were supply, a source of attention, admiration, control. And when you stopped providing it, or when they found a better source, you became disposable. So who does this? What kind of person weaponizes affection? Narcissists, not people with occasional self-centeredness. Actual narcissistic personality disorder involves a pathological need for admiration, lack of empathy, and fragile self-esteem hidden beneath grandiosity. They don't love bomb because they're overwhelmed with genuine feeling. They love bomb because they need control, because deep down they're terrified of being ordinary, of being seen as flawed. So they construct elaborate performances of perfection and charm to extract validation from others. The charm is camouflage. Beneath it, emptiness, an inability to connect authentically, a worldview where people are objects to be used, not individuals to be known. Not every narcissist is obvious. Some are grandiose, loud attention-seeking, clearly self-obsessed, but many are covert, playing the victim, the misunderstood genius, the wounded soul who just needs someone to understand them. Both types love bomb. Both types destroy. So how do you recognize it before you're trapped? First, speed. If someone is moving too fast emotionally, that's a warning. Genuine intimacy takes time. Manufactured intimacy rushes because it needs to bypass your defenses before you notice the inconsistencies. Second, intensity. If the affection feels disproportionate to how long you've known each other, be cautious. Real love grows. Manipulation floods. Third, mirroring. If they agree with everything you say, share all your interests, never challenge you, they're performing, not connecting. Healthy relationships involve difference. Fourth, isolation. Do they discourage your friendships, criticize your family, want all your time and attention? That's not love. That's control establishing itself. Fifth, guilt. Do you feel obligated to reciprocate their intensity? Do they make you feel guilty for needing space or time with others? Guilt is a weapon, not a feature of love. And sixth, your gut. If something feels off despite the intensity feeling good, trust that. Your instincts recognize manipulation even when your emotions are compromised. Love bombing doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It appears in cults, in corporate environments, in friendships. Cult leaders love bomb recruits with acceptance and purpose. Toxic bosses love bomb employees with praise and promises before exploiting their labor. Manipulative friends love bomb with loyalty and secrets before using them for control. The pattern is the same: intense positive attention, rapid bonding, dependency formation, then exploitation. If you've experienced love bombing, you're not stupid. You're human. You responded to something that felt like connection because connection is a fundamental human need. The shame isn't in falling for it. The shame is weaponized by the narcissist to keep you trapped. Let it go. Recovery starts with understanding what happened, not as a personal failure, but as a calculated manipulation. You were targeted, studied, played, and now you know the game. Healing requires boundaries, slow emotional pacing, allowing relationships to develop naturally instead of accepting manufactured intensity as proof of significance. It requires rebuilding trust in yourself. Your instincts were right. You felt the warning signs. You just learned to ignore them because the dopamine felt too good. And it requires recognizing that real love doesn't overwhelm you. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't isolate you. Real love is steady, consistent. It respects your autonomy. It grows with you, not around you. Real love doesn't feel like drowning in attention. It feels like breathing. Love bombing is the narcissist's first weapon because it's the most effective. It disarms you with the very thing you're seeking: connection. But connection built on manipulation isn't connection. It's captivity disguised as devotion. And the moment you recognize the difference, the moment you choose slow over fast, steady over intense, authentic over perfect, you take your power back, not by never trusting again, but by trusting yourself enough to walk away from anything that feels like a trap, even when it's wrapped in roses, even when it calls itself love.